My name is Bob Ejike. I am the founder of Nollywood, the third biggest movie industry in the world. The third biggest movie industry, film industry in the world. I'm not talking about Nollywood restaurant or Nollywood program on Sky TV or any of that. All of that started with the Nollywood film industry that I started. How did I found Nollywood? I created Nollywood from this head. I thought that Africans, especially Nigerians, are highly talented people. And we were acting on television, on radio. And I thought that what we were doing on radio could be better served to the people direct through motion picture. And I took the film industry, the film, from television and put it directly to the people, and that became an industry. And it became the third biggest movie industry in this world. So I am an artistic technocrat, a creator, an inventor. That's what I do. And nations call me to start movie industries for them. I have done such projects in Dubai, I've done such projects in Uganda, I've done such projects in Italy and different other places. Yes, that is Bob Ejike for you.
Can we start asking questions?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you plait your hair?
The plaiting of hair, tattoo in the body, or what we call tribal marks, but it's actually tattoos. Because anything that is African, they try to make it primitive by giving it a demeaning name, tribal marks. It's tattoo. We're the first to do it in the world. The hair braiding is an African culture. It's not feminist. It is not for women alone, as some people tend to think. It was actually the men, that warriors, that braided their hair. So when you braid your hair, it's an expression of the valor of a warrior. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You also extend your beauty. You understand? When I was born, everyone said this man had too much beauty for a man. Yes, it is true. Everyone said, they wasted too much beauty on this man. And I knew, that is what people said, I heard them saying.
Funny.
I heard women say, oh my God, I wish I had children. Feel free to talk as you're talking, I like that. That's an interjection. It's funny, that's all right. Yes, please?
When did you start your career?
I started writing when I was very young, maybe 14. And by the age of 16, I was an editor in a newspaper called The Democrat. And I started contributing to a national newspaper, or well, regional if you like, which was the Renaissance, or the Daily Star, because it was Renaissance first, and then eventually the name changed to Daily Star. And I worked with people like Cyprian Ekwensi, who's a celebrated African author, Tom Chibo. There were a lot of other very, very brilliant fellows who directed me because I was only a child. I wrote poems and short stories for Daily Star. And when I wrote, my own father said, no, it couldn't have been you that wrote this. You must have copied it from somewhere. And I was editing the poetry corner for the Democrat newspaper. And in a year or two, I was writing for the biggest magazine in Africa called Drum magazine, which I think it was based in South Africa, but had a branch in Lagos, somewhere around Yaba Commercial Avenue. And I was writing with Ben Okri, who has won the Pulitzer Prize for Literature and the Commonwealth Prize. Both of us were sharing the short story page of Drum Magazine. And I was doing this until I started writing for radio. We had radio drama then. You could listen to drama on radio. Television was not a popular genre. Television was exclusive for the rich, so the poor came and stood at the windows of the rich in the night to watch TV. Until the poor were able to buy TV, we were not on television. We were on radio. Because the poor had radios, small transistor radios. They could hear the drama. And we had things like Mwelekebe, which was very popular in the East. You know, we had the Playhouse, you know, and the Playhouse eventually became television. And I went on Anambra TV, ABS TV then. I worked with Oswafia. Oswafia was not a comedian. Oswafia Kemo wasn't a comedian. In fact, I was a bigger star than him then. I know that they always preferred to use me because both of us were sharing roles. And then it was when he went to the Bassi and Co. that he became the taught him comedy. I also wrote for Bassi and Co. I worked with Ken Saruwa, the great environmentalist, as an actor and a script writer. Yes, please.
What do you prefer, singing or grammar?
I like both. Singing is so simple. You just stand on the stage and sing. There was a boy, very strange and charming boy, said he wandered very far over land and sea, a little shine. Okay. However, drama acting is more complex because it involves a lot of intellectual expression, starting from writing, the mere act of creating the story, because I wrote and I still write stories for Nollywood and other media. Create the story, write the story, dramatize the story, or what you call screenplay. And then from screenplay, you need a director, producer, to put a perspective on your story, which may be different from what you're thinking. You know? That reminds me of Ejike, my friend, because I always worked with him. My friend Chico is dead. Bless his soul. You know?
Oh, damn.
Do you have any more questions?
Are you an inventor? If yes, why and how?
Okay. I am the inventor of film in the third world. Because I started the third biggest movie industry in the world. I don't know why, because these are things that were put in me by God. When I was born, I was a very, very, very special child. Because I was born, many people are born with one talent. Say Leonardo da Vinci was born with painting, drawing as his talent, and the only drawing. Recently, I had an argument with my former friend, Loverboy Felix Liberty. And his friend said, he was a bigger star than you. I said, but only in singing. Only in singing. I admit he was a bigger star than me. He was relevant 35 years ago. But I'm still relevant every day. Because I don't do only singing. I did singing, I still do singing. But I've been writing most of the films you see in Nollywood. I've been acting. I've acted in about 250 movies. So I'm a star. I'm a born star. I was also into modeling, and I was Nigeria's biggest male model. Do you understand? It's not a boast, it's a fact. Sometimes when you tell your biography, it seems as if you're boasting because so much you did. But you must refer to them. I'm not trying to make an impression on anyone. But the fact is that I was Nigeria's biggest male model. You understand? Before they started all these MTN endorsements, what have you, we are the ones that did all the dirty job, you know. We built the stage that other people are standing on. But no one, when you come to a show, you don't ask who built the stage. You don't know people have been there for 1 month before you arrived, building the stage. We are the ones that build the stage. You understand? Yes, please.
My question.
Yes, please.
Why acting? Were you born, as in, is acting in your gene, or, and how did your parents react?
Well, because you're giving me 3 questions. Why acting? Were you born with acting in your gene? How did your parents react? 3 different questions. Why did I start acting? First, I started writing. And writing, sometimes there's one actor that doesn't come to work because you have this situation where people cannot be professionals because they don't have enough patronage. Therefore, they are doing another job. Maybe he's a bricklayer, a manager of a company or something, but he loves acting. But sometimes the work will not allow him to come for rehearsals or for recording. And so, as an actor, as a writer and director, you also had to learn how to act because sometimes you needed to replace someone who hasn't come, otherwise the whole thing will collapse. That's how I started acting. I didn't reach out to be an actor. No, I never planned that. It's alright, let them talk if they want to talk. Yes?
If you can do singing, why more professions?
Why what?
More professions like
Works.
acting.
Okay, why was I doing other things?
Yes.
Okay. How old are you? Answer me.
I'm 8.
You are 8 years of age. So you are 8. I started 45 years ago. Now you are looking at the big industry that we built. 45 years ago, this industry was so small that singing alone could not support you. You couldn't pay your rent, marry a wife, and raise children on singing. There were 1 or 2 or 3 people who were successful singing. Chris Okotie, my friend, was one. Chris Okotie was one. Bongo Sikwe was one. You could count them in your fingers. Ofege. 1 or 2 others. Yes, please, question.
I want to ask, how much have you benefited from creating the Nollywood?
A lot. You see, I will illustrate this with a story. There's a friend of mine called Chuks Moses. He was one of the first rappers. The first rapper I remember in Nigeria, rap group, was TLZ, Too Low for Zero. It is a Moluwe, Lagos City Transport. Very well publicized, but they didn't sell because they were ahead of their time. When they came, people didn't know about rap, and people were ignorant. Sorry. The other person that came, I had 2 other friends. There was Healing Child. Gwamoku, 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 Healing Child. Gwamoku, 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 Healing Child. His rap in Igbo. It had never been done before, publicly. Then there was Chuks Moses, who was a rapper. As far as I remember, Chuks Moses knew he was great, but nobody else knew that. Because rap, nobody was listening. You understand? Well, he was singing in a nightclub. He met a beautiful German girl. From there, he took off to Germany. He has been a great success financially, not musically. Would you say he's a success or a failure?
Success.
You see what I mean?
Success.
So the success that comes from founding Nollywood and artistry is not always direct. So because some people look, they think, oh, how many records did you sing? How many views do you have on these views? One, they are bought. So you must know. The views are bought. I know those who are buying for the video. Seriously, if you want, I bring you their details. They are bought. Do you understand? How many views did you buy? How many, what do you call it? How many, how much did you sell? It is not always like that. I have been established as an intellectual in the arts and a creator, and as well, because of that, I was invited to places like Uganda, and I was received with diplomatic status and entourage, you know, with flags flying when I'm moving with siren. Do you understand? So, and I had the possibility to work in the office of Museveni, the president of Uganda. I worked with Eli Win, the second most powerful man in East Africa. You understand? And so many other things came. I was in Dubai. I was talking with Emiratis that are very powerful on the development of arts. Do you understand? I go to Italy and they give me the Legend Award. And I've received award in 21 countries. Do you understand? Yes, question.
Have you bought views before?
That's a very good question. Yes, of course, but I've never bought enough. They are too expensive. So when you buy, I have kids to feed. I say, okay, that's enough. I don't buy anymore. Hell with these views. If you don't like my music because of the views, go to hell. You have to listen to the music, not the views. Must you follow like a sheep, others?
Yeah.
Hey. Yes.
GTR.
Can I have some wine, please? I like Gallo. It's Italian. I'm Italian too. When you look at me, you may not realize that I'm an Italian. I've been in Italy since the last 33 years.
Are you Italian?
That's a very good question. I came to Italy in 1988, and you had to speak Italian and know Italian culture. And in the process, I got married to an Italian lady. First, I was adopted by an Italian family, not formally, but I was more or less reorientated by an Italian family. And I learned all the cultural expressions of Italy, the history, the art, the culinary culture, everything about Italy. And by the time I'd stayed in Italy for 10, 15 years, everybody I met said, this is a black Italian. Because I spoke perfect Italian. I taught Italian. I knew Italian culture because I loved the people of Italy. And I started working for the embassies of Italy as a translator and as a diplomat. And I have been in 3 countries, Nigeria, Uganda, Dubai, representing Italy, especially in the areas of culture and language. So I'm an Italian without a shadow of doubt. Yes, please. You got a question for Bobby?
How many countries have you traveled to?
It's a bit difficult for me to remember and be precise, but I think I've been to about 21 countries. I have been to most countries, or most of the capital cities in Europe.
Can you mention the names?
Well, I can start making a long list of countries.
Okay.
You know the countries, you have to go and look at Google. But what I can tell you is I've been to Paris 6 times. Paris is one of the most beautiful places in the world. We say, see Paris,
Paris.
and die. They say, Paris. If you've been to Paris, before you go there is Paris. When you get there, it's Paris. I don't know how they say it. Every time I say that, I want to.
Paris.
Yes, I've been there 6 times for holidays. And I've been to Cannes Film Festival in France many times. As the founder of the movie industry, I was invited to Cannes. You understand? I've been there many times for film matter. Yes, please.
How many awards have you won?
Yeah.
How many awards?
Yeah.
I don't like to think that I won an award. I prefer to think that I received an award, because the art is not a competition. Art is a gift from God. Do you understand? If you make more money than another person, it's a gift, it's a privilege. It's not because your music is better or your art is better. You understand? So I like to say that I'm a recipient. I have been a recipient of so many awards. I don't know which one I will start counting. But since we're in England, I will tell you that I received the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Nigerians in the diaspora in the UK. About 3 years ago, I was honored as the greatest artist ever to come out of Nigeria and perhaps Africa. Is there any other question? I received the Legend of the Art Award from Italy. I received awards from Uganda, Dubai, different countries. I was invited to take an award in Germany before the coronavirus madness started.
What did you really wanted to do? Like you said, you didn't want to do acting. What did you really want to do?
Well,
When you were small?
what did you really want to do? As a child, I knew that I had to be an artist because I had the call of the muse. The muse is a spirit. It's a positive spirit. The muse is that spirit that gives you inspiration to create art. That's why it's called music, because there's a muse.
How did your father react?
Now, my grandfather was a British soldier who fought in Burma during the Second World War. And he was a musician and a creative artist. My mother was also a creative artist, so there was this transcendence of the arts from one generation to another, and I'm almost certain that some of my children are going to pick it up. My nephew is a great music producer, Angelo Lewis, a great jazz musician, music producer. And so these things are not just things that happen, they are things that you inherit. You don't decide on them. God chooses you for that. God chose me to express art. So it is everything, the whole process is worship.
Your father.
Yes, what was your
How did
question?
you react?
My
music?
father was old-fashioned. He was old school colonial man who had the colonial people had thought that their father has to be brutal. I wrote him, Daddy, how are you? He said, no, you don't say how are you to me. You say, good afternoon, sir. May I know how you are, sir? You don't write me to say how is life. That's an insult. That's my father. He was a tax commissioner in Anambra State. I must say he was an angel. Among the other tax people, they were very suspect because, the tax authority decided how much tax people paid. So when he arrived in a new town, they built a house and gave him the keys, bought him a car and all of that just to bribe him so that he would now, betray the state so they don't pay taxes. My father never did none of that. If you brought him a bribe, he would call the police for you. He will warn you, of course, first. So we were that kind of family. My father was an angel. There's no question about that. If you say Nigerians are not honest people, then you haven't met my father. He was very, very, very honest. And he wouldn't take a dime. So we lived poor, even though we came from a rich family. And the other members of the family will look at us and say, what's wrong with your father? I didn't know and didn't respect him until the day of his funeral. The day of his funeral, I flew in from Kampala, where I was working in Uganda as a diplomat. And when I came, I saw so many people that I didn't know. I said, who are you? Where do you come from? He said, 20 years ago, your father was good to me, and he didn't ask for a bribe. Then we read that he was dead. We traveled 500 kilometers to be here in this funeral. They brought their whole relatives, and they brought money. They brought gifts. They said, because we'd never seen a man like your father. You understand? So I'm very, very proud of my father. He was an angel. But he didn't like my art. He wanted me to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Or a lawyer.
Yeah.
Or that kind of stuff. Now I'm reading law. But he's not here to see me graduate law.
Wonderful.
I told him, look, I can be an intellectual and still be an artist. I've been a university professor for many years. I've been a teacher at college, at uni. I've taught for the Italian Institute. I've taught for Università Popolare. I've written books that have been revised and analyzed by Harvard, Columbia University, and other great institutions. I'm a recognized intellectual. Okay? Yes, please. Any question?
Yes, but I don't want to ask you about artist question.
What do you want to ask?
But I want you to give me one advice.
What advice?
Me too, I want to be a singer when I grow up. But I also want to be a doctor and I also want to be an actor. Which one would I choose
Me
to
too.
be?
That's all right. You can be anything you want to be. You can be anything you want to be. You can be a singer. You can be an actor. You can be a model. You can be Miss World. Miss Universe.
And a doctor.
And you can still be a doctor. Huh? All you have to do is have in your mind compartments and know that this is where you give your preference. Now, you want to be a doctor, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You focus and read all your books. Keep reading. Don't waste your time with cartoon, YouTube, and all the other
I don't have
places.
any
Shh.
books.
Allow her to talk. Yes?
But I don't have any books.
Right.
You don't have any books at the moment.
You will.
Okay, Bob Ejike will buy you books. Yes, please, what was your question?
I didn't have any question.
Hmm?
Okay, do you expect your children to be like you?
No. You
Okay.
have to be what
You want to be.
you want to be.
Okay.
You have to go for your own calling. You have your own destiny.
Yeah.
It is definitely different. But if I have a child that has artistic interest, it is natural that I will assist. My first daughter, or actually my second daughter, is an actress in the UK movie industry. And many times I've said to her, come, let me help you to get this. She said, no, I don't need your help.
Oh.
I've got to achieve it myself. I said, but you're going through a lot. He said, it's all right. I don't need it to make any phone call. You don't call anybody for me on my behalf. I do it myself. So she wants to have the satisfaction of being self-made. That's all right. You understand? I don't have to ask anyone to be Bob Ejike. There's only one Bob Ejike. If you want to be an artist, it's all right. You're welcome. But you don't want to be an artist. Be what you want to be. I don't give a bullshit. Thank you. Thank you.
So, what do you have to say to the youth and the world about the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, COVID-19 has been extremely destructive of economies, social relationships, family relationships, businesses. It's been terrible. But one thing I believe is that COVID will pass.
Yeah.
It's not the first pandemic we've had in the world. It's just that the people were busy in consumption. Governments and nations were so busy. America, we are the greatest nation in the world, we can subjugate any nation. And they were not thinking about the pandemic. The Chinese came up with it. I don't know whether by accident or design. And spread it everywhere. Chinese are making a lot of money now. And Indians were boasting, saying, oh, China is so lousy, blah, blah, blah. Now Indians come to India. So you better shut your mouth, take care of yourself. So that's what I think is that people should wear their mask, keep distance, social distance, sanitize your hands, wash your hands whenever you come into the house. Don't take it for granted. Don't follow the other fools. Those fools are agents of COVID, the ones that don't wear a mask. They are agents of COVID. Don't follow them. Because when the thing comes and you are stuck and you have this thing over your nose, you are in a mess. Nobody will help you.
Thank you.
Take care of yourselves. Thank you.